All right, guys, welcome back. We have the fourth and final major of the PGA season coming up this Sunday. But before we get into the Open details, Rory wants to go over the recent winners from this last jam-packed week of PGA Tour golf.
Yeah, guys, happy to be here. So we had two winners, two co-sanctioned events between the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour, which I really loved. Here in Louisville, Kentucky, Hurstbourne Country Club, William Mao shoots a 61 to win. 61 to win a tournament is pretty awesome.
Bogey free too. That's crazy.
That's pretty cool. Additionally, we had Chris Gotterup beating out Rory McIlroy at the Genesis Scottish Open, which is actually a super fun tournament to watch. And that was a really interesting communication between Rory and Chris there towards the end. But anyways, two new winners coming on, playing in the Open, I think is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that always impresses me about the Genesis Scottish Open is how many people play in it and how thrilling it always comes down to the wire. Last year, didn't Rory and McIntyre have their battle?
Yeah.
I
believe so.
And then this year, Rory and Gotterup had their battle as well. So Rory, always at the top of that leaderboard, hasn't got it yet, but always great golf over there in Scotland.
I mean, yeah, there's no reason for the Americans not to go play over there. They're not used to the conditions at all, and gives them a sneak peek of what the Open might be like in tournament conditions. So, in my eyes, I feel like it's a must if you're in the Open.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw Rory hit a 50-degree wedge from 196 yards because that's just the difference in conditions.
Yeah.
It's like the ball just moves so differently.
Exactly.
You're not seeing any of these real tight American like spinners coming back. It's just totally different. So super interesting.
All right, well, speaking of Rory McIlroy, what do you guys think? Do you think he has what it takes to end his drought? Last time he won the Open was in 2014 at, I believe, might have been Portrush, if I'm remembering that right.
That sounds right.
No,
No?
but I don't know what it is.
Okay. Anyway, 2014, he's also coming off a tied second at the Scottish Open, like we just said. And then also this course just fits him really well, being at 7,300 yards. I was telling Rory before we started this, it just fits him so well because it's a long enough course where it takes the smaller hitters out, but it's also not too long to the point where he's got to be drilling drives off every tee. So I think the yardage of this course is going to be a great advantage for him, and I think he's finally off of the Masters hangover.
I don't know. I don't think he gets it done, to be honest with you. I think there's too many, not favorites, but too many people in the hunt for this tournament that if it would be either the Rory over the field, I'd take the field 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, I think that Rory could go ahead and win it, but last year's Open, he didn't even make the cut. And I just watched him this past week at the Scottish, and he's coming down the stretch, and him and Gotterup are laughing and talking on hole 18. And that's not really the kind of player that is just dying to win another tournament. I think Rory honestly is kind of feeling some contentment. Like
He seems satisfied.
He's happy.
He seems satisfied.
Good for him. But that's not really the kind of guy that I'm going to root for.
Exactly.
In a major championship, or that I'm going to bet on at least.
I would agree. It seems like he is satisfied now that he has the career Grand Slam, but at the same time, maybe that helps him take the next step and win a few more because he was on a major drought for a while. I mean, honestly, was this his last win before the Masters?
I think he had a major win. I think he might have had a PGA
later, maybe 2016-ish, but even still, he had a long drought between the Masters and his last major win. So maybe him being more laid back and reserved is going to get him across the finish line. But I do agree with you. He doesn't seem to be a fierce competitor, not anymore, but not as fierce as he was at the Masters. We heard Bryson say he didn't talk to him once on Sunday. Now we see him laughing.
It feels to me that he's just content with keeping his PGA Tour card.
I mean, that's all you can ask for the guy. He's making money week in and week out, and he's got nothing else to prove.
Yeah, and I think that like laid backness gets him to T2. Like I think it'll get him there.
He will gladly take that.
Yeah, but I don't think it gets him over like just killing somebody on the 18th hole or something like that.
I agree. Moving on from Rory, now we're going to move on to which American has the best chance to win the Claret Jug.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I'd love to say Scottie. Scottie's kind of just been hanging in the top 10s, and I think that he probably has the best odds of it, but it's hard to tell right now.
I do think he has the best odds in every sports book, but once again, that doesn't mean he's going to win. like you, I want Scottie to win. For some reason, once we get overseas, he just doesn't play the way we see him on golf courses in America. Can't blame him, though. It's a whole different lifestyle and a whole different play style. JT's kind of a name that's sneaking around lately this year. Not saying he's going to win.
He's in the top 5 in FedEx Cup points.
But I will say look for him at the top of that leaderboard. Colin, previous Open winner, but I don't know if he's got it. Bryson, I want to say he's got it, but I mean, even on the long golf courses that favor him, 7,300 is not terribly long, but it could be a golf course that favors him. Also needs some accuracy. You know, we got the postage stamp here. This is the course with that. So you need some accuracy, and I don't know if he's got it. So ultimately, I'm going with Scottie or nobody from U.S. is going to win this tournament.
Yeah, I think Scottie, what Rory said is Scottie's been hanging around. At the U.S. Open, he obviously did not have a great tournament, but he still got like a top 5, top 10, something like that.
It was like a tie for 9th or something.
Yeah,
Like that, but it was like that was the best out of all the stars that he did, because it was like such a tournament that were untraditional or like not popular people played well in, and so that was just it's interesting to watch. Scottie's just kind of I feel like he's just kind of waiting to
Scottie's always in the mix. Like he was even in the mix at the Scottish Open this week.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like all he needs is like 1 or 2 more good things to happen to him, even if he has a meh week, and he's easily the winner. But I think, and this kind of leads us into our next segment of hot take, but I think Wyndham Clark could.
This guy's always making
talk about hot take.
Dude, save it for the next segment.
He needs a good major to get him into contention for the U.S. Ryder Cup team. All right, he needs a good week, and I think this might be the week. This is the last major, right?
It is the last major.
I think he goes out with a bang, folks.
Wyndham runs so hot. Even so, he was stuck playing with Goddard and McIlroy today in that final pairing because it was like the 3 had fog coming in, and it was just entertaining. He's just slamming his club. He's just
that's passion. That is passion. I want my winner playing with passion.
Yeah, I want my winner destroying a locker at Oakmont Country Club.
Well, Alexander kind of mixed in the hot take section with the which American has the best chance, but we're gonna go on to the hot take of the week. Alexander, hopefully you have another one. If not,
I do have another one. I can start it off too.
All right, start it off.
Keegan Bradley.
Whoa.
Keegan Bradley. Keegan Bradley, honestly, could win this week and decide he's not going to be the Ryder Cup captain and become a player, because he will be pretty much an automatic qualifier from here if he wins it.
Well, he could be a playing captain, though.
I know, but he said he doesn't want to do that.
Right.
But I think Keegan Bradley could do a solid one here. I'm calling for a top 10 this week. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. This is kind of a condescending, kind of hateful take, but my hot take this week is Ludwig Oberg does nothing.
No, that's what I was going to pick him to win.
I was going to go against his hot take.
I was going to pick him to win.
My hot take.
This guy, he had the biggest choke job at the Scottish Open.
Ludwig's coming out. He's coming back.
He can't.
He shot 2 under.
He's had a bad year. He had a great rookie season. This is the major. This opens the floodgates for the
He hit
some
terrible shots the other day. Some terrible shots.
Ludwig will win the Open. And I'll say it again once we get to the winners.
All right. My hot take is that Ludwig wins. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think if I had to make a hot take, it'd be that Ludwig wins and Xander Schauffele loses by 1 and is not able to defend his title. So I think you'll see that battle coming down the stretch. A lot of Opens for some reason have that 2-person battle. You know, as long as I can go back, I feel like there's been that. You know, last year Xander kind of had it locked up, but you know, ones that jump to mind is Cam Smith and Cam Young kind of battling down the stretch at the old course, and then you go all the way back to what was that, like Phil beating Justin or Henrik Stenson. Then you got I'm blanking on one, but there's just constant 2-person matchups, and I think this is going to be another one right here where Oberg barely outlasts Schauffele.
Yeah, I also want to note here for another hot take, kind of put in another one. I could see Justin Rose doing something, sneaking up a leaderboard here.
I was thinking that. Right. You know, for my final hot take.
Oh, here we go. 3.
I think Cameron Young plays good.
What plays good to you? Top 10?
Top 15.
Top 15. That's a respectable week for Cam Young. Cam Young is constantly doing well. Has he gotten his first win yet?
Yeah, he's won. He's won.
If
What,
not,
what do we think
he's been
about
close.
Max Homa and Tommy Fleetwood?
Choke
Tommy's not going to
artist.
do anything. Max tied 20th.
I think Tommy basically his career's over. To be honest,
The only thing
Dude, that was terrible.
Tommy could win.
No, he couldn't. The only thing he's got going for him is his mini driver and his hair looks good. That's about. And he's got a kid that has broke headlines. That's about it. Everything else, golf side's not going too well for him. All right, and now what everyone's been waiting for, who we think's actually going to win, not just our hot takes. Names, obviously, Scottie Scheffler, Ludwig. We got Bryson, Rory. Who else we got? Throw some names out there.
Ludwig.
Robert McIntyre.
Thomas Dietrich, maybe.
Justin Thomas.
Maybe Thomas Dietrich, Justin Thomas.
Sepp Straka.
Could be a name. Could be a name. Ben Griffin, maybe he comes back. No. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with who I think's gonna win, and let me just make sure I'm not missing any name. I could see. I'll get to my win first. I could see Victor Hovland winning this tournament. Victor hasn't won anything this year, but he's kind of been sneaking around, and I do think that this could be the win that opens up his career. He hasn't got a major yet, but this could be a great first one to get. Going to be always in Europe, but open championships are kind of his play style. He always does well in Ryder Cups, and this is always the play style they're going to have. So I could see Victor Hovland hoisting the Claret Jug at the end of this week.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take. I personally am going to go with another European. I'm going to go with Robert McIntyre. Portrush is the only open course that's not played in Great Britain. And I think that's going to play to McIntyre's advantage. I think that, if you're a consistent overseas player, this course is going to be a little bit, it's just going to play a lot easier for you. I think an American winning over there, which has actually happened pretty often in the past 5 years, is still tremendously difficult. But I think it'll be a fun tournament to watch.
I'm going to go Ludwig.
Let's get some explanation.
I would say Scottie, but I always go with Scottie. I'm going with Ludwig. I'm a Ludwig fan. Ride or die with Ludwig. Yes, he had a bad Scottish Open, but you don't want to win the Scottish Open if you want to win the British Open.
It's fair.
So give me Ludwig. I think he's going to have a breakout week. He'll be back to his normal self last year. And yeah.
All right. Well, you guys heard it here first. We got Ludwig, Victor, and Robert McIntyre as our picks to win this year's edition of the Open. Thank you guys for watching. This is the last major episode of the year, but we will be back for the Ryder Cup, which is happening this year, and the FedEx Cup. So a lot of things looking forward to. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.